XComp Quiz with another dev stream. Joining me in TeamSpeak today is Fireball.
Hello.
Alrighty, so what am I doing today? I am doing some more... Oops. Okay. My hotkeys are interacting with Minecraft, interestingly. But I'm doing some more 1.7.2 update. So we're going to try and get that a little more polished and nice and make sure everything's working properly and whatnot. Fireball actually pointed out a bug to me earlier that occurs in 1.6.4 actually. I'm going to try it here and see what happens here. Okay, prepared for it to crash. Let's see. He said you can do this and the whole thing crashed. I can't actually even do this. Alright, so he was saying you could put an unlinked book into a book stand and it would crash, and now I can't even put an unlinked book into the stand. So either I fixed that or I don't know. Alright. Okay, that's good. Didn't crash. That's always nice. Alright. You can see I kind of cleared off my island here so I'd have a bit more space to put things down. I'm probably going to build a structure so I can actually organize things and put them a bit more nicely. I put down a stone block for where you actually spawn in. Okay, so first thing I want to actually do is, well, I've got my current task list, same as before. So compatibility thing, use is air instead of blocks air. Alright, so a lot of things we have to change. What's where?
Good morning.
Good morning, hello and welcome, Lyra.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Hello.
Let's see here. Let's find blocks air. Search. Find them everywhere. In theory, that should only find it in my own code. But it seems to be checking a lot of things that are not my code. Okay, that's fine. I really don't care. You were only supposed to be searching the code anyway. Let's see here. While I'm thinking about it, let's set up a resource filter here. Location matches. There we go. Now there's a lot less random crap in this folder. Well, it's still there, it's just no longer visible in the Package Explorer. I don't need it here, I just need the source code and these reference libraries, which is part of the source code. Okay. That's correct. So all the set blocks things are fine. I really guess I only should be checking for equals blocks air. So let's try that. There you go. So change that to is air. And then not equals blocks air, I should also check that. Is the new world type amplified now a page? No, I've not built an amplified page yet. But we can add that to our list of things to do here. Alright, so I'm trying to add those to the current thing. Okay. Make sure I've got that in there. Why are you complaining? Is air block. Okay. Huh, I didn't have many checks left. That's good. This is gonna be hard to... No, this is during terrain generation. I really don't want to try asking the world anything because there isn't really any world stuff yet. If I try asking the world about stuff, then it's just gonna query what I'm doing. I'm stuck in an infinite loop. Same for this. So, won't do those. And those are fine. At least, theoretically. Alright, let's come over here and fix this one. Alright, so search for that. Remove this one. And this looks like it's going to be the same thing. It's in the generation stuff. I could actually check it here, except here's a little strange because this is actually in a transform space, but this is also somewhere I'm generating into. I have control of most of the area, so I don't have to worry about other block air things being anything. This is during terrain generation, and this is actually a very specific check. This is also a very specific check for terrain gen, so I won't worry about those. Alright. That looks good. Mark that off my list. Okay. Chat's asking, do you have plans for the changes in world generation added in the 1.8 snapshots? I've not looked at 1.8 at all. I have no idea what you're even talking about, I'm afraid. So, no? I guess I can't have plans on something that I've not seen, huh? Alright. So this next item on the list is an update item, the wood types thing. So what I mean by this is 1.7 added a whole bunch of kinds of wood. So I need to try and handle that everywhere I'm handling logs. So everywhere blocks.log, search. Yeah, this is supposed to register all the wood types, but at the moment it's only registering 4 wood types based on blocks log. Oops, that was wrong. Keep doing that. Might actually taking me to the right. Fine, be that way. So there's actually log and log2 now. Yay. That's what partially tipped me off. And then let's see here. So the main question is, how many different metadatas are there of log now? Okay, I've already handled that there. I don't actually need to worry about that one. And this is fine too. So actually this is the only place I need to handle this. That's good. Let's figure out where this is used. Yeah, chat's pointing out log and log2. Those are very descriptive names. Yeah. This is probably... chat's pointing out that meta is also used for facing. So, yeah, it's probably just the first 4 here are wood types. Blocks log 2. So how many wood types are there in log 2? It says there's 2 new types. So that would be like this, theoretically. So let's try that. There are errors. What are these errors? Oh, I just need to clean up my project space real quick. Hang on. Whoosh. Oh, chat says the text is a bit hard to read. Yeah, that's... I had to completely rebuild my entire workspace environment earlier today trying to get some things to work, so I forgot to change the text editor size. So, colors and fonts. No, it's not Java. Basic? Yes. So... that. Okay. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Okay. Alright. So let's try it now. That's building. Are there any plans to add Denis villages/cities with a puzzle aspect? Man, would I love to. But it takes a lot of time, so it's not been something I've been looking at just yet. When I do it, I want to devote a lot of time and focus to it, so... Other things I have to do first.
Doing is doing right.
What was that?
Anything worth doing is doing right.
Oh, yes. Alright, so it launched. Let's see... Let's get modifiers block here. Plop that in here. This is biomes. I missed. Here we go. I was like, that doesn't look right. Okay, there's a new wood block. Birch, black ink, coal ore, crystal, dark oak, wood, diamond ore, dirt block, instone, glass, iron, jungle. Okay. Not surprised on that one. Oak wood, spruce. Yeah, so we had dark oak wood and acacia. Is that how you pronounce that?
Acacia, that's how I say it, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, seems that the wood types got added properly. Alright, well, that was easy. Let's pop that off the top, stick it in my change log. Nope, we've already checked that doesn't actually happen, so we're good there. Right, so CPW was suggesting that I actually... maybe it wasn't CPW, it was somebody else, suggesting that I fix the logger stuff, but I'm not sure I actually want to do that right now. Alright, so let's set it like that. Yes, Black Sparkle, I had all of the errors fixed for 1.7.2 by the end of the stream where I was doing the update. It took me 12.5 hours, but that's okay.
I'm very proud of XComp.
Thank you. Alright, let's see here. Things I need to do. Let's go through the fix-me's. There's a whole bunch of fix-me's right here, actually. That's to do, maybe we won't do that just yet. Let's stick with the fix-me's. This is an empty fix-me here. Oh, it's because it got wrapped around. I need to fix my formatting. Let's do that. Code style, formatter, configure workspace settings, edit the custom profile. Comments. I would actually really like it if it didn't wrap comments that had to-do tags. Black Sparkle comments, they still remember when there were 800 errors left. Yeah, I remember when there was 2,000 nearly. I started with 1,850 or something like that for errors. That was fun. Let's see here. Let's just disable line comment formatting. Then it won't wrap them. And that will work fine for me. Let's see here. I think I can format all my code. How do I do this? How do I do this? I remember seeing it before. Ah, here we go. Source. I have to actually have selected source. Select all that. Source. Format. That'll take a moment. Let's go through there. Yeah, I wasn't concerned about 1,800 errors. No, what bothered me was just trying to transition to the dev environment itself. Okay. I now have problems. Oh. Need to do this again. Don't know why that happens. Back to tasks. Okay. Let's fix these things. I can't get actual coordinates from here. Kind of a problem. Who all's calling this? Get color multiplier. I'm very close to done, actually. I'm planning on putting up a 1.7.2 dev build here fairly soon. It won't be public, of course, because my dev builds aren't, but it'll probably go on Forgecraft real soon here. Which is nice, because a lot of people have been going, when are we going to get a Mystcraft for Forgecraft?
Other devs are not immune to ETA requests, is he?
No. Let's see here. So I can't actually get these coordinates. The coordinates are right here. They're right here. They could just be passed in, but this function is doesn't handle that. I wonder if this function's added by Forge or not. I don't know. I mean, this function here, the color water model. Yeah, it's added by Forge. That was nice. Thank you, comment. So, that's going to require a Forge fix. Alright. Can't do that one. That's unfortunate. I really just need to check this command works. So, if you've not seen it before, I have a pretty interesting command here. And that command is to be able to regenerate chunks locally. It's very handy for when you're testing and tweaking terrain generation, obviously. So, let's pop into a world here. Let's TPX to dimension 2. This will be a good dimension to test this on. First, I'm going to get somewhere higher up. Alright, so this dimension generated very strangely because, well, the indexing was wrong in the chunk stuff at first. I've already fixed that, but the dimension remains slightly odd. So I should be high enough now. Oops. Mist regen trunk 3. Alright, so it works, but yeah, there is the problem I expected to have, and that is that the... go away, Rain. I don't like you. Oh yeah, that command's broken too. See? These are the things I have to fix. Okay, I've already got to fix me on that. Alright, so this is the way this was supposed to generate. I've already seen it now. The command for regenerating the chunks just worked fine. Wow, that poor Enderman. It unfortunately didn't send the client the new chunks. So I need to convince it to do that. So that's this here. The problem is I can't actually access this stuff anymore. I wonder what packet this became. S packet, probably chunk data. So it's S21 packet chunk data. Ah, it says 20. That's not right. Chunk data. Yeah, it takes all the same things, so it's probably the same packet. Let's see here. Net Minecraft Server Management Player Manager. So, this class is public. Yeah, it became Player Manager Player Instance, which is private. Yay. Alright, who all sends chunk data? Let's find that out. Send chunk update. Fairly promising. This is part of player instance, but I can't get a reference to. So let's see here. Who calls this then? Updates all the player instances that need to be updated. I'm going to presume this is a tick operation. Yes, it is. Okay. Alright. So I want to try and trick the system into resending the entire chunk. Let's see here. Send all players watching chunk. Which means the number of tiles to update needs to equal the clumping threshold. Apparently equal exactly. And not greater than or equal to. Which is... seems like it's wrong somehow. At any rate, let's see if I can trick that into doing things. Flag chunk for update. That already sounds good. Okay. Yeah. Who all calls this? From where? Okay, I don't think we're marking the, Player manager mark block for update. Let's see if I can force it to resend them some other way here. And update player instances. No. Alright, looks like, who calls this? Role manager mark block for update. Player renders the block on the server, sends the block to the client before we render it, including the title into description packet if applicable. I want to do that for the entire chunk for every chunk. That sounds fun. Let's see here. Equals that. Cache everything, so always run. Yeah. Oh, this is fun. This could be a lot more efficient. But whatever. Yeah, I want to say that every block needs to be updated. Joy. Is there anywhere I can try and force this somehow? Doesn't look like it. Ugh. Alright, this kind of thing's always fun. So let's see here. For every block I just generated, resend it. That doesn't sound like how that should work. No, that won't work. Oops. Let me finish keyboard and go int X position equals let's actually do this way. I equals 0, I is less than 16 plus plus I. Make these J, K. And then, all right, so I'm not exactly working on chunk update code. I have a command that regenerates chunks. It works. It actually worked just fine a moment ago. What broke about it in the transition between 1.6.4 and 1.7.2 is I used to just be able to send the chunk information. I can't do that way anymore. You know what? I just need to be able to send this packet to everybody that's interested. That's all the people watching these chunks. Can I figure out who they are a different way? So, send to all players watching chunk. Where's this? Can I get it? Move player. Chat's suggesting F3 plus A. I don't know if that would resend the chunk data. Is that what that's supposed to do? Fairly certain that's a client-side thing that just re-renders, but let's find out. Let's try it. I fully expect F3 plus A to just be a renderer refresh. This isn't a renderer problem. This is a server-side to client-side communication problem. Very different. But let's see what it does. So I'll just fly over here. This region chunk 3. Alright, so F3 plus A. No, it's just a renderer refresh. The client still believes that's there. It's even going to let me interact with it. But if I teleport back to the overworld and teleport back here, it actually did it. Alright. The renderer refresh was nice though. Okay, so that's just render refresh. I need to resend the chunks. Let's see here. Curious. Packet. No. Let's go here and figure out read packet data. Where's the stuff handled client side? Process packet, handle chunk data. Thank you. Okay. If something. Wow, there are no checks to this at all. It will just happily... I wonder what happens if you send the client a chunk that it's not actually looking at. I of course wouldn't bother sending this chunk to anybody not in the dimension. And I could just make it so it sends the chunk to everybody locally. Let's see here. I could also play interesting games with sending people chunks for other dimensions. Alright. So, this is not how this... But I may not be able to get that properly. So, I have... Let's see if I can find code to do something real quick here. Network helper. Okay, so Minecraft dot how did I get the Minecraft server again? I don't remember. You can tell I'm out of practice here. Minecraft server, Minecraft, cited proxy, get MC server. That'll work. There's really a better way. Sorry, it's Mystcraft, cited proxy, get MC server. Okay. Send to all near. Is there a better function to call here? Find all players in a specified range and narrowing down by other parameters. Let's check that. See who all sends packets. A lot of people send packets. A lot of code sends packets. Okay. Entity tracker entry. That's for entity stuff. That's probably for processing packets, largely. We're logged in, respawn Blair. Oh. Probably going to want that particular thing for my link control stuff. So let's do that real quick. Where were potions? Here it is. Here we go. Also might look into entity player MP loaded chunks. It's a list of the chunk chord int pair. Could check against that and then check for correct dimension. So held suggesting let me check this type. I can't type. Oof. Alright, so let's see here. This is the server-side player, so that's good. Loaded chunks. Holds the loaded chunks. That's a very informative comment, thank you. Okay. Let's see here. What's this one? What is this array list? It's here. We don't put anything into it. Why would its size? Okay, I understand. Chunk. So it's an array list of chunks. So if chunk function what are we doing? What does this send? Doesn't seem to actually send the chunks themselves, so that's okay. Don't really want to be playing with that just yet, or at the very moment. Alright, so loaded chunks is only... Okay, it's got to be used in other places. Ah, okay. This is amusing. The loaded chunks are built into the player itself. Right. So I could basically just replicate this function here. Okay. Make this for all players. Contains why does that happen? And send back a packet. Okay. So send to all players watching chunk. Packet. Now I need to solve this. So if I pop back to here, figure out what sets this. Chunk coordinate int pair. Let's make this a parameter. Not sure I typed that incorrectly. Chunk chord int pair. Okay. I wonder if I can get that pair from the chunk itself. So let's see here. Local variable chunk. Get chunk coordinate in pair. It actually just creates it, but that's okay. That's what I was going to have to do anyway, I guess. Okay. So now I just need to figure out my players. This is less than ideal in that I'm going to have to actually filter through players and check to see. I'm going to have to go through all the players, but I can at least limit the players to the ones in the dimension right now. So, collection, entity player, MP, players equals get players in dimension, and I'll actually check dimension we're in here. Should just be in dimension. Dimension. Parameter dim. Typos. Okay, making progress on this. Dimension. Since I already know it from up here. Let's resort this a bit. There we go. Looks a little nicer now. I'd really like to remove a single line of text from chat here. Sorry, Pseudosage. You'll be allowed to speak again in a moment, but that's not supposed to be mentioned. Alright.
Pseudo. I know you know better.
Yeah, really. Okay, let's see here. So, at this point, I just need to get all the players in a dimension. Alright, Held. Let's see here. Alright, let's see here. What was I doing? So, all players in dimension. I think I already have a method of doing that. In effect potion. Yes. This is one of my environmental effects. Oh, okay, I do this a little differently here. Let's see here. Why am I trying that? Let's see. Probably gonna need the dimension itself, so let's see if I've actually got the world. I do. I'll pass in the world object. Oops. If it didn't like world, okay, that's world server. I'll make it world server. Player entities. Let's check and make sure they're the right type here before I go casting them to something they aren't. They're an entity player. That'll probably be sufficient. No, they have to be entity player MP. They probably are, in this case. But I'll play it safe. If entity player, if not entity player, instance of entity player MP. I keep capitalizing that L for some reason. Continue. Doesn't like that particular construct. I'd really like that, but that doesn't work. Player MP equals entity player. Create local variable MP. Add cast. Done. All right. Okay, so that should work. Let's try it. Okay. It's bigger. Lightning. Alright, I'm gonna fly over to one of the corners here. No, I'll just fly to a wall. I want to see what's down here first. This looks kind of interesting. There's a hole there. Alright. Missed. Regen junk 3. There we go. All better. So that's fixed. All right, so what's the next thing on our list? Sounds! You may have... I've not really been paying attention, but I guess there have not been any linking sounds. Huh. Well, I had to figure out how to do sounds because this no longer works and the manager is deprecated, but the event isn't. It seems like the event should be deprecated if it's not going to do anything in the future here. I believe I've been told that sound has to be done through JSON now, though. Which is interesting. Wrong thing. So look in here. Find. No, the sounds don't show up in here at all. Alright. There's... it's just deprecated, but there's no explanation as to what we're supposed to use now. How we're supposed to do anything. This would be a good place for adding your custom sounds to the sound pool. But you can't do that anymore, apparently. Sound handler. Huh. I wish I knew how to fix that. But I don't. So we'll skip it for now. While I'm thinking about it, let's do a commit. Where'd you go? There we go. Okay. That's better. Okay. Oh. Let's go add that to my ignores. Okay. CPW did say something about vanilla sounds, but I've already fixed the vanilla sounds thing. I think you're referencing how to get the assets in. And I did that. And we have vanilla sounds. They're in. But I don't have my own sounds, because I don't have a way of registering them right now. So fixes region chunk command to send chunks to clients. Adds new wood types as symbols. What was this? Fixes. Let's make that equals blocks dot air to use is Air block. Let's just make that blocks air checks. That's just a formatting change. Not gonna worry about it. Forces sending player experience on link. That used to cause problems. I don't know if it's still required, but I'm gonna put it there to make sure it's still working. That's just a name change in the text in the comment. That's a formatting change. That's a formatting change. That's a formatting change. I appreciate the attempt, Azure, but you can't actually post links to chat. Alright, so that's that. Put that away. Look over here. Let's play with this one. They broke weather. Again. And more so. Now all of weather runs through world info, and people access the world info directly to do things, and good golly, that's terrible. Which might mean I might need to, oops. Keep hitting that. This dot world info. It's a protected variable. It's created here using world settings and a string. This string is probably the dimension identifier of some kind. That's the iSave handler. So let's see here. Use initialized. I don't understand what this world info is supposed to mean. And when I say that, I mean it's because it's like it's two different things thrown together. Is it supposed to be the world rules by which it's governed, or is it supposed to be current data? Because it has both. This is weird. Get total world time is this world info. Get world total time. Get world time. Provider get world time. But nobody uses because everybody asks the world info. I hate that thing so much. It causes so many problems. Do I already have a wrapper for it? If not, I may just try wrapping it. Okay. For the most part, I don't care what the world info says. Actually, if I could just get this function routed through the world provider, I could make sure that nobody accesses the world info incorrectly because it's protected up here. So you can't actually access it outside of world. At least you're not supposed to be able to. But world provider can. That's weird. But good, because it means I can replace it. Alright. Alright, so in my version of Register World, I want to set the world objects world info. It's not visible. And yet I'm not in the same package, I can't access it. Ay ay ay. There used to be a function. This is the sad thing. There used to be a function that routed the weather stuff through the world, but they've moved it all into world info. So I used to have control over it, but now I don't. I don't want to use the world info because it doesn't cover what I'm doing. It has, fixed variables that you set by other things. It's just a variable tracker system. Why in the world would this exist? Why in the world would it be public? Or accessed directly from outside of this class. If it's just supposed to be for data storage, great, but don't give other people access to your data storage. When I say don't give other people, I very frequently personify code that way. I don't really know why. So I will discuss allowing other classes to do things as giving other people permissions to do things. Don't know where I picked that up from. Alright. Thing is, I wonder... Okay, so I set the world time this way. Get world time. There's a function in the provider. Yeah. Problem is, anybody could just ask the world info object for the world time. World info. One of those thorns in my side that makes it difficult to do things. A lot of the Minecraft code is getting better in that things are starting to be more private, and you have getters and accessors and things, and the data is actually more controlled, and you're not just throwing data around. But a lot of stuff is still run through what biome is here, and what the world info object says. You can access the world info object directly, and it makes it really difficult to have any points of control. There's 3 different ways you can get a variable. And to demonstrate that, get world info. In the info object, here's the time. Get world time. So you could ask the info object what the world time is, or you could ask the world what the world time is. Why is there 2 ways to ask this? Because messy code. This is all fine except for... well, basically, except for... there you go. This function. If this function didn't exist, and world info was protected, it'd be fine. In fact, it'd be better if it was private. Because the moment other things in the same package can access it. And world provider apparently does. But it's not such a big deal. If world provider does, that's okay. There used to be a toggle weather function. It's gone. Let's see who all calls this function. Everybody under the sun. And you have to call it to get the terrain type. Because I don't think I can ask the world for the terrain type. Can't. So you actually have to ask the world info object. Just, it's all lumped together. It's so messy, so annoying. And it would be fine if I could override it somehow. Alright, so what I need is to be able to access this. I need to be able to control what the world info object returned is. That should be easily done through a forge change, but it requires a forge change. Yay. Well, that's frustrating. if I could somehow set this, that'd work too. Since it's protected, that's really difficult to do. I could use access transformers or reflection to try and do that. I don't know, it's technically a good solution. We're kind of used to access transformers now, but that doesn't make them good. And I also don't know how to use access transformers at this point. There was a time where I kind of had the idea of it, but it changed since, and I've not looked. I could just use reflection. I don't like it. I actually really don't like reflection. It's a strange language property. But in this particular context, it's going to be useful. Interesting that they actually left my comment here. Alright, so for the time being, create a class. Where is the world info class, for that matter? World storage. I'll do the same thing. I'll even try and spell storage right. There we go. And then I'll actually make it extend world info. This package is hidden in the workspace due to resource filters. Ugh. Kidding me. All right. Properties, resource filters, remove. 'Cause apparently I can't code with the resource filter in place. Thanks. Okay. I don't think anyone has a custom iSave handler. They really shouldn't. That's how Minecraft saves and loads. Sounds like if you had a custom one of those, you'd break everything. Okay. I now want to override basically every function in here. Okay. I should actually change my current task thing to better reflect what I'm doing. So, in order to kind of clarify what's going on and why, Minecraft broke weather even further. They made it worse than it was, which is amazing because it was bad to begin with. And they made it so in order to actually modify the weather status, you have to access the world info object directly instead of going through the world or the world provider. And then so basically the only way to get the world provider or the world info object from outside of the world is through this function. Unfortunately, this function just returns that. If I could get this function to go through the provider first, then I could provide it this way. But since I can't, I probably should just replace the world info object. Doing that's complicated because that object's protected. That's just why it's the only way to access, the only way to get the variable is from the function, because it's protected. Well, I have no method of setting the object, so what I'm going to have to do is use reflection in order to try and set it. So I'm going to do that through this function here. And then there. Import. Okay. And in order to actually do that, so to demonstrate, I can't do this because it's not visible. What I have to do is do some reflection to try and get to it. Now, I don't know if I have any reflection floating around anywhere at this point. Cancel. Wow, okay. Don't cancel then. Just getting Starfield stuff. I know I had some reflection in my GUI stuff, but I don't anymore. So I may just look at what that code was, because I don't remember how to do reflection offhand. It's never something I bothered to memorize because I don't like doing it. But I have done it before, so I can find the code. Let's see. It was in... I think it was either in GUI helper or network helper. Okay. Yeah, that was it. So I'm just going to drop this here real quick. Java lang reflect field. Just to make the errors go away. Okay, so this was actually a function to get the next thing through reflection. I actually have to figure out where the field is, so in what order it's in. And I need to get it from the right object, obviously. So let's do that. Forge has a lookup function somewhere in the API. Alright, so let's try that. Obfuscation. Thank you, Held. Reflection. Let's just try typing it out here. Obfuscation reflection helper. Set private value. Set private value. Yeah, I probably want this one. You're right. Okay, so the class to access is presumably world.class. So to import world. Set it to this. I wonder if that's actually the class to access. Let's look at this function. Remap field names. Class to access, find field. So this should actually be get declared field name. Accessible. Okay. And then set. Okay. So it looks like I'm setting this up right. I just have to handle the field names. Remap field names. Okay, so how does this work? Oops. Keep doing that. Returns a single field. Alright, so I want to pass in the field name, which world info. Let's just remove all of that. This, in theory, will work. Let's see. First, before that, I have to fix up all this. So, get nbt type compounds. Return world. No, original. Okay. I don't actually need to bother with that one, but I do need to wrap it so that I can tell it to use the original. Actually, no I don't. I could just let it use the superclass, can't I? And be perfectly happy. Yes. I am going to have to handle setting all the variables, I think. Which is going to be difficult if they're private or protected. And they're all private. This is one of the things that actually got better. So this actually became a one-line function, so I could actually just do that, but I won't bother at the moment. Yeah, I'll actually have to do this so that it uses the original, because I really actually want to use the values in the original and not this one. That's how I'm going to do this. And then I don't actually have to worry about this, because that will be handled in the original. But I may still wrap it. It's private, so I don't need to overload it. I really only need to overload the public functions. The private ones I can ignore. Public, public, public. There's a lot of getters and things in here. One-line functions to access and set things. Add to crash report. Okay. What's this do? Okay. Alrighty. Get seed. These. It's one of the things about wrapping. You have to actually refer everything through. Redirect. Get world total time. Okay. Get world time. I can actually redirect this to the provider. Which I forgot to pass in, now that I think about it. Okay. Don't know what that's about. Can't say I care much. Get vanilla dimension. Returns vanilla MC dimension. Custom dimension compatibility. I always prefer world provider dimension accessed from yes. So what I'm actually going to do is this provider dot dimension ID, which actually I think that's that way, but we'll check. Alright, now we're on to setters. These two functions are client-side only. Set spawn Y, set spawn X, set spawn Z, which is on the wrong side of increment world time. Don't remember how I actually handle that offhand, so I'll leave those for the moment. Increment world time. It's not supposed to be a return. Set world time. So provider.set world time par 1. Okay. Set spawn position. Same thing as that up there. I'll actually move this so that it's all together. Get world name. That's definitely something I'm going to do through the provider. Set world name. That's more interesting. Alright, let's see here. What else am I doing? Get save version. I definitely just want to pass that through, so... Okay. Get last time played. No. That's an infinite loop right there. It's thundering. Except I don't want to do that. This is the weather stuff. And this is what's actually going to enable me to have absolute control over weather. Finally. Okay, so I'm going to skip all that. Get game type. Change to get game type. Is map features enabled? Set game type. Oops. Original dot. Go. That might enable me to do hardcore worlds. Sorry, Pulsify, you're gonna have to, I appreciate the donation. If you donate, thank you very much. But I'm gonna have to get rid of that line, and the only way I know to do that... Well... I can't just clear chat. Will that clear chat for everyone? Or just me? Because I could just time out Pulsify. Be the easiest way to get rid of just that text. Sorry, Pulsify. You're definitely welcome to chat again. It's just that particular character needed to go away. Alright, get terrain type. Don't need to worry about those. Get generation options. Generator object options? I don't know what that even means. Are commands allowed? Is initialized. Okay. Get game rules instance. I've already done that function. Allows access to additional mod-specific world-based properties used by FML to store mod lists associated with a world, and maybe an ID map used by Forge to store the dimensions available to the world. Kind of does. All right. Okay, I don't think that'll even matter because by the time this function's called, and the only time this function's called, or should be called, is during startup. But okay, doing good. This is all weather stuff, and that's spawn, and I need to provide the provider. I need to provide the provider. That's a fun thing. Okay. Create parameter. And then the arrow moves over here. I actually want to do the order the other way around. Okay. How we doing? Well, let's see how I handle spawn. So, get spawn point. So I actually store the spawn in the age data. And that should be most of that. So what I might do